Since I promised raw and messy, that means recording and posting at random times and in all sorts of mental and emotional states. Well, to make that happen, I treated myself to a tiny impulsive upgrade. Say hello to my Rode wireless micro mic, everybody! Letting me record as I go wherever I happen to be. Let the unfiltered chaos begin. This wasn't meant to be episode 2, but now it is. Will I still manage episode 3 this week? Well, that's for me to know and for you to find out. Hello everyone, I'm Hiba and this is the ADHD Linguist, a podcast about language, culture, neurodivergence and everything in between. Today's episode is a little personal and messy. I almost didn't record it. After I released the first episode, I found myself spiraling. I'd put something raw and honest out into the world and the response felt quiet. Not because I expected applause, but because I felt exposed and vulnerable, like I'd ripped off a layer of skin and no one even noticed. That silence hit harder than I expected. Then I remembered something I once read. On the 1st of October 1861, Charles Darwin wrote a letter to his friend Charles Lyell, and in it he said, "I am very poorly today and very stupid and hate everybody and everything." This is the same man who transformed science, sitting at his desk writing about orchids and feeling like it was all too much. Even Darwin had days like that, and if he was allowed to feel that way, so are we. After the episode went out, I crashed. That's what happens sometimes with ADHD. The hyperfocus, the adrenaline, then the paralysis. I couldn't plan, I couldn't decide, I couldn't feel, I just froze. That freeze brought up something else. Rejection Sensitive Dysphoria, or SD. We'll talk about both in future episodes, but in short, they are the quiet parts of ADHD that nobody sees. The parts that whisper, "You're too much," or "Nobody cares." It's hard to keep showing up after that. But here I am. And here you are too. So let's keep going. You know the story about the boiling frog? The one where the frog sits in a pot of cold water. The heat is turned up slowly so it doesn't realize it's in danger until it's too late. I know that the story's been debunked, and in real life the frog would probably jump out, but I still use it because metaphorically it's spot on. The slow rise in pressure, the creeping discomfort, the constant adjusting until you can barely remember what it feels like to be yourself. That was me. I adapted, I blended in, and I masked. I adjusted to everyone else's pace, their expectations, their noise. I stayed polite, professional and quiet, but the water kept heating. The overthinking, the sensory overload, the pressure to perform, the exhaustion from trying not to seem too much, and still I stayed. I told myself it was fine. Everyone's tired, everyone's overwhelmed. Just push through. But the longer I stayed, the more I faded. Until I realized I wasn't coping, I was burning. This podcast, it's me stepping out of the water. It's me saying, I can't keep adjusting myself out of existence. And I don't want you to either. After the first episode, I focused on who didn't respond. I noticed the people who stayed silent. But then something beautiful happened. A few people reached out, quietly. They shared things they'd never said out loud, One message simply said, "I've never told anyone this before." Another said, "I admire your courage." And another said, "Thank you for speaking up." Those messages stopped me in my tracks. Because not all connection is loud. Not all support is public. Some of the most powerful moments happen behind the scenes, and they're just as real. If you're listening and something I've said lands with you, you're welcome to reach out. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to post it online. I'm a professional interpreter and translator. I deal with sensitive, personal, and confidential information every day. If you've ever felt like the water around you is getting hotter and you're not sure how much longer you can keep adjusting, you are not alone. This space is for you too. I didn't record this episode because I felt strong. I recorded it because I nearly gave up and then remembered why I started. I'm not here because I have all the answers. I'm here because I don't. The ADHD linguist is a work in progress. Just like me, just like so many of us discovering who we really are, sometimes late in life. Before I go, I just wanted to share a quick update. The ADHD linguist now has its own YouTube channel. So if you or someone you know prefers listening there, especially if podcast apps aren't available in your country, then just search for the ADHD linguist and hit subscribe. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for feeling. I'm still here and I'm really glad you are too.